If I traded it all, if I gave it
Welcome back.
away for
You know, I love doing this show. I am so excited about bringing you on my next guest. First of all, I met her a very, very long time ago. She came in. She was like, she likes to get all prepared. I have with me Stormy Rose. She's the owner of New Heights. Welcome to the show. I want you to tell them a little bit about yourself and what New Heights is.
I am lucky to be a business coach that's been certified with Gallup to be a strengths coach. I'm really part of a strengths mission that's happening around the world. StrengthsFinder 2.0 is now in 30 languages. It's in 100 different countries. StrengthsFinder 2.0 has been taken by over 12 million people. It is changing lives, improving businesses everywhere.
And before you came on, the last time I saw you, I met with you, and you said, Carol, this changed my life.
Yes.
How did it do that?
Thank you. Focusing on your weaknesses is what we've always been taught. That's what we've been trained to do to get better, to improve what's weakest. Unfortunately, or fortunately for us, Donald Clifton discovered we always figure out what's wrong with people and focus on that. Why don't we focus on what's right with people and develop StrengthsFinder? I discovered StrengthsFinder in 2008. In 2002, I was T-boned, broke my neck, was in a coma, suffered from TBI, and I followed the old mission of focus on what you're weak at, make that better, get stronger, and improved. After 5 years, I had taken tiny steps and steps and steps, and I'd gone from living in the hospital to assisted living to functionally living on my own. I was making progress, but it was so slow and so small. It took 5 years to make that progress. And then in 2008, discovered StrengthsFinder. Began to focus on my talents, on my strengths, and grew by leaps and bounds, and am soaring enough that I wasn't just barely functionally living, but really succeeding and growing and being a functional contributing member of society.
You also told me that there's not many of you here in Arizona. And that's another thing I want to get, because, you know, we know that there's coaches out there, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going off my own deal here.
You're
okay?
good. You're good.
I am good. And so, and we're going to talk about that too, because I took the test.
Yes.
And I read the book. I read what you told me to read in the book, and I want to talk about that with everyone. We're going to also open up the audience. We're going to give away some of these books too.
Okay.
But how many are you of you coaches here in Arizona? Like,
we've been growing a little bit. There are now 8 certified coaches.
8 in the whole state. I'm sorry, 8 in the whole state. So it's not like you're typical. That's why I wanted to bring that up. You know, there's only 8 of you in the entire state of Arizona. And so, okay, what is a strength-based training?
Like I talked about earlier, Donald Clifton was a psychologist 40 years ago who said we have all these tests and assessments to figure out what's wrong with people and how to make them better, how to help them. Why don't we ever test what's right with people? So he started to research and then ended up using Gallup resources to ask people and find out what strengths do they have, what talents do they have. They did over 2 million interviews with the whole plethora of different professions to find out when someone's really good at that profession, what do they do well? What talents do they have? They came up with thousands of people's skills and talents. They started to group them into groups and created about 34 talent themes. And those 34 talent themes are what the StrengthsFinder is based on. So they then started to develop an assessment to help people assess and figure out what are their top 5 dominant talent themes. What are they really good at? They waited for the assessment to be verified and stable and a really good deal, and then StrengthsFinder was born.
Well, I got to tell everybody out there, I read the book. It's StrengthsFinder 2.0, and we're going to offer we've got few of them that we're going to be giving away.
Yes,
So
I will give away. I believe in this so much. It's changed my life. I've now created it in my business and watched it change other lives. I'm giving away 3 books. I'll give away the book, which comes with an assessment, and my information, because I will also give them a 1-hour coaching session to review their results.
Okay, that's $150 value free to you. Our number here, and it's not just to you. Maybe it's someone that you know that could use something like this. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Everyone who's calling in, she's got 3 of them that she's going to give away, but everyone who's calling in is going to get entered in to win. Again, our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You can check her out on her website. It is New Heights with Stormy, and that's like the weather, .com. You can also call her direct at 480-326-6106. But I say call in here. Listen to what we're going to talk about now with what I just went through with it. I recently did it, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And our lines are open here. We want everyone to get entered into win. This could change your life seriously, because it's so... In all honesty, more people should do this. It's amazing. So 602-277-5369. Get entered in to win the book and a 1-hour free coaching session. That is $850 value, free to you. Okay, so I'm reading the book, like you said.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, my God. You know, it's so obvious. Yes, why don't more people, focus on what their strengths are, okay, and find out what they're good at, and excel in what they're good at already, you know, and stop trying to fit a circle into a square or however that goes. Because really that's what we're all doing out there. Somebody told you that your father told you, you're going to be an attorney, you're going to own my store, you're going to do this and this, and you did it, but you hate it, right? Okay, so I did it. And it's like very quick. It was about 30 minutes. I have to be honest with you. It took me a minute to get used to reading it and going fast, and I only picked the 2. I didn't want to do A, B, or C. I just said A. I was right there. A or B. That was it. One or the other. Nothing in the middle. That was for me, okay?
Right. Okay.
And you want to tell them what you found out?
I was amazed. The little bit I know of you and the time we've spent together and talking, as I start to read yours, now, too, as I read yours, it's responsibility is your number 1 talent.
I'm responsible for everybody. Go ahead.
And that's obvious. That's the first element of your personality that was obvious to me. But your responsibility report even isn't responsibility report in general. This is your responsibility. And it's customized for you. And listen to it. This is Carol. Because you are tireless, you want to keep busy. You delight in taking full ownership of your work. You continually discover more things you can do, should do, or must do. You willingly accept the consequences of your words, actions, and lack of action. That is Carol.
If anyone knows me out there, they're going, absolutely. And I am too. Let me tell you, our lines are on fire, okay? Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. We're having everyone get entered in to win the book. We've got 3 of them that she's giving away, along with her coaching session. That's $150 value free to you. It's an hour long. It's fabulous. I mean, I'm telling you now, I loved just the small thing that I did, which was just a little teaser. And again, the book is called Strength Finders, and it makes sense. 2.0, and I'm going to say it that way. And again, our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Go on.
Right. StrengthsFinder 2.0 is the same exact thing as StrengthsFinder. It's the same assessment that was proved valid and everything. The only difference that's changed is the feedback they give you, the results are much more customized, perfected, easier to use, because that's when the differences happen. Gallup research shows that people that focus on their strengths and use them every day, just taking the test and getting the information, oh, that's interesting, that's good. But you have to actually use them and apply them.
And when you find out what they are and you realize that you know what your strengths are, most people really do. When you find out what they are, you're like, right on. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further about this. Again, our number here is 602-277-5369. Get entered into win a book and a coaching session. Check her out at newheightswithstormy.com.
If I traded it all.
So welcome back. We're talking with Stormy Rose. She is the owner of New Heights. We've been talking a little bit about Strength Finder, knowing your strengths and focusing on that and how wonderful that is and how I took the test and I read the book and how you found exactly, I mean, it was like the 5 were exactly me. You know, and I even said to you before you even came on the air, I think I know what I am, and I thought you probably thought, no, she doesn't, but I did.
Oh no, most people do.
They do. They do, especially me. I do. But I'm really, really excited about talking about this. We're offering this book to everyone out there is getting entered into win. We've got 3 of them that we're giving away. Also, along with that, a coaching session. It's a 1-hour coaching session with her. That's $150 value, free to you. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. I want these lines on fire again because I think that everybody should focus on their strengths. Now, let's talk a little bit about that. Okay, you know, because, you know, you say that it's good to know a little bit about what your strengths are and what you're better to be balanced at. Okay, but why shouldn't people be focusing on their weaknesses? Tell them.
You focus on your weakness, you might get a lot of energy going and stuff, get to maybe mediocre. There's an actually multiplicative effect. If you start with a talent, let's say it's rated at 2 from 1 to 10. And you put in 100% effort, you do everything you can. 2 times 100, you get 200. Let's say you start with a strength. One of your dominant talents that was identified with StrengthsFinder. Let's say it's a level 8. You put in full effort again, you're at 800. Same work, same effort, same input. Results, 200 or 800. I personally experienced the difference. 5 years of tremendous work and struggling and making improvement, getting better. That's how we spend our lives, working on weaknesses.
How many people can relate to this? Because, you know, so many people out there, especially today, where a lot of us are trying to work on ourselves, you know, out there. We are all trying to figure out what's wrong with us, you know. But really,
what's right
there's
with
nothing wrong with us. It's what's right with us. Everybody is different. And that's why it made so much sense. And as I started reading it, and I know you knew, I was like, God, you gave it to me a couple days. I'm not going to have time to this. And you know what? The minute I opened the book and I started reading it, I went, oh, my God.
You emailed me right away. Sense. You had your results. You were running. I loved it.
Yes, I did. It took care of it right away. Again, when you work with people, okay, and you're coaching them, can you work with anyone anywhere?
Yeah, I have clients all over the United States, possible ones internationally. There are some conferences I can do phone, Skype, in person, face-to-face.
That's the wonderful thing today. That is the good thing about you can do business from anywhere. And now especially that you can Skype and do that in person, but without being in person is awesome. Again, I want to stress this too. There are coaches out there, but the strength coaches, there's only like 8 of you in all of Arizona, and that's very little. And I'm saying this for a reason, you know, because you want to get that out. There's not a lot of people out there that are doing what you've done.
I have training, expertise. I have tools and resources that took thousands and thousands of man-hours of experts working on, that took millions of dollars to create. I went to Washington, D.C. for the training, an incredible resource at the Gallup International Office. It's stuff that 94% of Fortune 500 companies use Gallup assessments. They know the strengths of the benefit and the value of StrengthsFinder. They're using it. All of that can be here in the Valley as well.
And you should be using it. You should try it. This is something that is, it can't hurt, but it'll only help you. And again, our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. We want everybody calling in. Get the book. Get this 1 hour. We've got 3 of them that she's giving away that she wants for you guys to get. It's $150 value. Your website is newheightswithstormy.com.
Yes.
Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Focus on your strengths. Stop talking about your weaknesses. Your strengths are what you want to talk about, what you want to improve on. You know,
Right.
because you're already good at it, that's how much faster you're going to get even better at it, right?
Because of the multiplicative effect, yes. And you don't ignore your weaknesses. I'm not talking about burying them or ignoring them, but you focus all your energy on your strengths to find out how to work around your weaknesses, how to work with compatible people with compatible strengths to get around your weaknesses. You don't put all your energy and focus on them. You don't ignore them, but you find better, smarter ways to work around them.
What value does this all bring? You know, when you're identifying with your strengths, what's the value of it?
Part of it is just individual. People that focus on their strengths every day are more likely to achieve goals. You were talking with a client earlier about displaying confidence. You're more likely to display confidence. You're more likely to be energetic, well-rested, and happier. In fact, a person that focuses on their strengths every day is 3 times as likely. That's 300% more likely to experience an excellent quality of life. Boom.
Okay, so one of the things that I want to bring out too right now is that, you know, you talk with business owners, I'm sure, quite a bit, okay? And so we want to focus. You do want to help those business people. Can you imagine, though, if everybody did this in high school, you know, where you weren't focusing on, you know, you really, there's once in a while you get teachers out there that'll focus and help. That person's really good at this or whatever. But most of the time we end up not. And we go through our life always struggling. And we know that we're not in what we're loving. Right? So
Yes.
isn't that what happens?
This is a great way. Some of my clients have let me know they've actually adjusted careers or changed a little bit to make what they do match what they're naturally talented and good at. There are other clients that are so elated they are exactly where they should be and then soar even more.
So in business, how does it help?
So in business, well, imagine if you have all individual people that are achieving goals or happier. Wouldn't you like to work in that place? Now imagine the effect that has on the business itself. The number one, the greatest determiner of business success is whether a person is actively engaged at their job. The largest way to affect whether someone's engaged or not is to create a strengths culture at work. The most determining factor of business is actively engaged. The greatest way to affect actively engaged is to create a strengths culture. This is it. Boom. The best way.
Well, okay, the other thing that I want to say too in business, there are a lot of people though out there that work for themselves. Okay? And I would think most people out there we're all, like I said earlier, we're putting that circle into the hole and we're not happy. If you're not happy at what you're doing, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Right.
Right? But how many people are stuck? And they find that they're stuck. And how do you help them when you take the test, it's like, 30 minutes?
Right.
Okay. But then you give them the assessment, and I didn't even realize this. You just tell me, what do you give them in the coaching session? I want to talk about what it is that you do. Because, you think you could take a test and that's it. You know the answers. That's not all there is to it. Let's talk.
Here's what's nice. Here's what I love about StrengthsFinder 2.0. It's not just some personality test. You get these labels or you fit these categories. That could be anyone. That doesn't matter. Your labels, your 34 talents, that are the talent themes that were created, you receive your top 5, which are your most dominant, strongest talents. For someone else to have your same top 5 in the same order you have them is 1 in 33 million. Your results are customized, specific, unique. They're a lot more telling than just a label. Also, the results that you get when you go through and read yours, you get a paragraph about each one. That's not just about that particular talent in general. Yours is specialized because the talents affect each other. The higher up, the more dominant they are, the more effect they have. So your description of responsibility will be completely different than someone else who has responsibility on their top 5 because it's affected by all your other talents underneath it. That's why you can look at the description and read it and go, that's me.
I love
because
this.
it is.
And I know I was even going to get this, and you just gave it to me today. So you give it to all of your clients.
Right.
And it's something that obviously then you take what these are and you build on it and you help people. It must be very rewarding for you because they must be really happy. They're doing something they enjoy anyway, right?
Right.
It comes easy to them because it's already their strength. Okay, now, we've only got about a minute or so left. So what are
Okay.
your final words for today? What you want to get out there the most?
Oh my goodness.
Well, let me do this for you while you're looking at your notes, okay? So, first of all, she does do these 1-hour coaching for everybody, and that's $150 value free to you, as well as you're going to get the book. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Go.
So New Heights and the seminars we provide are the most accessible, easiest way to create a strengths culture at your business, which is the greatest effect your business can have.
I'll tell you something, guys. It is wonderful. I did it. I loved it. Again, her number is 480-326-6106. It's newheightswithstormy.com. I'm going to let you call throughout the rest of the show to get entered in to win this. 602-277-5369.